Hey there, internet. There's a lot of information online about Daphnia and Daphnia culturing and what works and what doesn't. So I wanted to share this 5 gallon setup that I've got in the hopes that maybe it could be helpful to someone out there. So a lot of people say you need at least 40, 50, 55 gallons to keep Daphnia stable. And I've found as long as you're feeding green water, that's not really true. You can do it in a little 5 gallon like this. So I wanted to start with the green water. So I've just got two 1 gallon jugs of water with an air stone in there. There's a light. This is just not a very bright light, but it seems to be enough to grow the green water, especially with this LED plant bulb that I've got up here. I did have a lot of trouble growing green water in Seattle tap water. So what I've found, I started with a chlorella culture that I got online. Just a little baggie of that. Split it up between the two containers. I've got, you can see there's a lot of surface algae on there right now. So it's probably every couple of months I go through, replace these jugs. But it is growing green water. What I'll do when the two jugs get about halfway full, I've got this jug of, I took a baggie of activated charcoal, dumped it out. That actually probably wasn't the most efficient way to do it because I had to rinse out a whole bunch of charcoal powder before it started coming out clear. But this removes the chlorine without having to worry about any of the chemicals from dechlorinator. So I'll add the filtered dechlorinated water to these jugs. Got 2 gallons for my 5 gallon. And then I'll add about half a capful of this stuff. And this is fish fertilizer. If you read on the back, it's actually fish solubles and phosphoric acid. So obviously the crushed coral I've got in here, let's see if I can get it through the algae. That's stabilizing the pH with this phosphoric acid. I've tested the water parameters. This tank is just a nice 7 pH, nice and neutral. The reason I chose this fish fertilizer, one, it's organic, and I liked the idea of using something made of fish to feed my fish. I thought that was kind of fun. But also, if you look at it, it's a 511 that's 5% nitrogen, 1% phosphate, 1% potash. You would think that you would want less phosphate. There's a lot of information about phosphate indicating to the Daphnia that there's no algae, but my water is so soft and low in minerals that I I like that high phosphate level for growing green water, and it seems to work well for me. So this right now, this is what it looks like about 24 hours after I fed it. Today might be a day where I skip a feeding or could feed a little bit. Generally, you want to let the water get nice and clear in between feedings, but with green water, it's a lot more forgiving. Talk a bit about the tank setup here. Got This is an LED plant bulb I got from the same hardware store as the fish fertilizer. Does have a heater since we're by this drafty window and I keep it open most of the time. Most seasons year round. Got a lot of I don't know if it's Dwarf Chainsword or Dwarf Sagittarius, but fair bit of plant life, and I found that helps keep the parameters stable. Got some duckweed, and I don't really do a traditional water change on this tank. Instead, you can see it's getting pretty full right now. After maybe once a week, I'll just scoop out that surface water with the duckweed and a little bit of water, and then that makes space for adding more green water. And I found parameters stay nice and stable that way. Do have just a stick that I found. It's extra surface area. Got maybe an inch of substrate, and that is what's keeping it cycled. Sort of a Wallstead setup. No dirt, but I did dump a bunch of dirty water from a sponge filter on there, and I did I sort of fed the tank fish food for a few weeks and did some measurements and saw that the this 1 inch of substrate was filtering out the ammonia and the nitrite. Anything else to mention? I got some ram's horns. And they eat sort of, you can see if I shake this up, there's, well, there's solid bits of algae that will come up to the surface, and that's all right. The ram's horns eat that. So yeah, hopefully this will help you guys who want to try a small setup of Daphnia. And know that it is at least possible, and you can do it in a pretty low-tech way. Only other thing I'll mention is how I harvest. I'll open it up and swish back and forth a few times. And all I've got that I'm feeding this Daphnia to is some pea puffers, a beta tank, and sometimes the leftover Daphnia will go to my 20-gallon. It's got some schooling fish, a couple honey gouramis, and they love it. The fish really love Daphnia. It activates their hunting instinct, and it's nutritious and keeps them unblocked. A lot of the frozen Daphnia are actually advertised as softeners for their digestive systems. So, yeah. Hope you guys have a nice day. And leave any comments down below if you got any questions about how I'm doing my setup.